welcome to Layback with Betfair. Joined by the A-team, we're back.
Hello, welcome to Layback with Betfair. Tom Haylock, Liam Clancey. Hope everyone had a fantastic Christmas. How are you, Liam?
Very well, Tommy. We're coming off a nice little fill up on Boxing Day. Zenzella did the job for us, as did your 𝗪𝗺𝗪𝗲𝗃, the Adelaide horse that just went 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗃. So we're excited. The lay streaks are alive, and we're ready for 2024 racing.
You found 𝗪𝗺𝗪𝗃 too, mate. You gave it a solid push, so well done to us. Nice price and good market support for 𝗪𝗺𝗪𝗃 as well. Still just getting off the floor with Amaro. Traded $1.01 Betfair. It was $1.02, I think it was. I don't know how that got beat. You watched it on replay. I was in the queue to collect my money at the 200. Just loomed up, went straight past him, left out in front for a mile, and I still don't know how it got beat. Just walked, paddled later.
The hit and run job at Newcastle, I'm certain everyone was excited about it. You took $7 before we went to air. I took $5 just after air. The punters took $4.80, BSP $2.45. I thought we were home and host, but I had to find myself some rocky road pretty shortly after that to make myself a bit happier.
It's a bit like that, wasn't it? We've got New Year's Day racing. Liam will touch on Canterbury and Flemington. At the end of this, we'll also just do some little tips for today if we can get that published. But it's all about New Year's Day. Hopefully a few sore heads and rolling out of bed, and you can collect some money on Canterbury and Flemington races. We'll start with Flemington, mate. You've had a good look at that. I've had a good look at Canterbury. So we shared the workload here in the holiday period, mates. Touching on races 1, 2, and 7 at Flemington. A lot of middle distance and staying races after the rapid racing meeting. So not many, only one race down the straight, I think, Liam, and you've headed there with our first selection.
That's it. And hoping it's a pretty simple one to start. We've got Midtown Boss, which is the horse I'm keen to find here. First start for the Matt Laurie stable, coming over from the 𝗪𝗺𝗪𝗃 yard. Has some exceptional ratings, far ahead of the rest of this field. And then you look at the positives that comes with this. This horse has been gelded, has trialled really well since. You got the stable upgrade, and you've got a horse that's going down the straight that has straight track form, and the rest of these don't. So there's a lot of ticks here. We're getting $2.76 on the exchange currently. I've got marked even money, so we're getting a really, really decent push there in terms of percentage chance of winning. So I'm hoping that Midtown Boss and Dan Stackhouse can get us off on the right foot. The first race at Flemington on New Year's Day, Midtown Boss.
Race 1, number 1. You did the form for one horse and you've packed up. No, that's a good bet, Midtown Boss. I like it, mate. The straight track form behind Legio 10 and even Airman over 1,200 metres, a couple back. Love the gelding, and I'll follow you in there, mate. Midtown Boss. Head to race 2, 1,400 metre race it is. Who do you like here?
Yeah, it's a racing 2. I had this one, and when I was doing this race last night, I could have ended up going either way. I went into the race wanting to find Ginger and Pink after a couple of fantastic starts and a couple of really good wins. Both career peaks in terms of ratings. First up, hit a really nice peak rating, and then second up went to a new peak again. Always a really good sign of a strong progressive horse. Those two ratings still rate just behind Karazana, the Waller horse that's first up. Very strong ratings in Sydney, those last two, and then has had a really nice trial at Flemington. So I find myself with both of these runners finding them right around about the same mark. And I've just lent Ginger and Pink's way for the reasons that continuing to find new peaks here. Fastest last 200 of the race last start, fastest last 200, 400, 600. The first up run. And then just in terms of versus Karazana, we've got the map advantage. We're going to be sitting just in front of Karazana, and we've got the fitness advantage having our third run versus first up for Karazana, and we're getting a bigger price. I think it's probably just the bet we have to have. We all know that Karazana, Waller's horses get better into the preparation. So first up, we're expecting probably a better performance second up from this horse. First up to 1,400 would suggest, hey, let's get this horse out to the mile and see what it can produce. The Ginger and Pink is the one that I've found. We're getting $3.40, $3.60 on the exchange. And I just think that's a bet that I have to have because I think this horse is going to continue to shorten. And I do think that both almost as much chance of winning the race, but you've got to take the higher price at this early stage in betting. And Tatum Bull knows the horse now, won on it last start, and I think we're a really good chance to go 1 and 2 Flemington to start the day.
I love this, mate. Hopefully our pockets are full after race 2. You make a good point about Wallet horses we saw with Amaro as well. Just they can be a touch soft late first up. He does like to get them to. They actually have a good first up record, but they do improve off their first up runs. They often can be a little bit flat second up and improve again third up. So interesting. Carazana first up over the 1400 metres. Liam is with number 3, Ginger and Pink. We move on to the Chester Manifold listed race, 1400 metres, race 7 on the card. Liam, hopefully you've got some money in the bank now after the first 2 races. Who do you like here?
We cross our fingers. Now, we're starting with a $2.78 pop, and then we go into a $3.40 pop. So it's time to find a bit of value for the punters here. In a pretty even race, I find this one. I found a horse that Mr. Exclusive is the name, number 9, and we're at 40-1 currently. So we're having a bit of a throw at the stumps here. Really nice first up run over the 1200 when was back, never had a chance, just wanted to hit the line really nicely for Matty Brown. Bo Mertens is on board today, so a big jockey upgrade there. And what I find with this horse was the rating out of that race that he ran would actually be really competitive here and sees him around about that $10, $11 mark. And then you factor in the fact that Mr. Exclusive is going to come on from that run, be much better at the 1400, and you've got yourself actually a really decent chance here at 40-1 odds. The 1400 big plus, I think. What are we? Yeah, 46 on the exchange. I think that's a really nice price. Have a little tasty bit each way, and hopefully we can get this leg of the quaddie on as well.
Love that, mate. Race 7 there, number 9, Mr. Exclusive from Barrier 1. Before we get to Canterbury, any New Year's resolutions, mate? Anything for the lay-in? Anything? Got anything for me?
Question without notice. Obviously, we'll try and find a few more winners. And then probably spend less time with you. That'll always be handy. And a bit more time on the golf course, which is
if you play golf with me, you'll spend less time with me too, because I'll be in the bushes and you'll be down the middle of the fairway, mate. But looking forward to getting up the Gold Coast with you. Are you playing golf with us Friday?
Certainly will be. We'll be having a very nice day out there. I think the Lakes or Lakelands, I think we're playing.
Lakelands, yep.
Before we attack the Gold Coast meeting up there on I think it's the 13th. So we'll be having a lovely time, mate. So we'll do our best.
Are you putting New Year's resolutions? Are you backing or laying them?
I've never had a reasonable New Year's resolution. I reckon the last one that I really committed to was about 3 years ago, and I was like, all right, you just got to be fit and you got to get active every day. And I think it lasted until about January 15th, and I gave up. So I think we can probably put that in the lay bin. What about yourself?
Well, the only one I've ever followed through was actually this year. I said I'd do 10,000 steps a day, and I'm averaging about 11.5. So I've done well.
Did you have any days under 10,000?
Yes, yeah. It's just the average.
That's very reasonable.
It was a few days.
So,
a couple of days where I did about 400.
So in your middle age, you're really coming into your own on the New Year's resolution.
I've got to think. I've got 2 days to think of a new one, mate. Help me. Get my handicap below 20.
Oh, yeah, that's easy. You'll be there in no time. Now take us to Canterbury, mate. Find us some winners.
Yeah, let's go. Canterbury, start with race 2, and I'm pretty keen on Kitty Chat here, number 10. She's a really nice filly. She split Jolly Star, who went on to win a Group 1, and then Arctic Glamour on debut, who's a listed winner. That form reads superbly for a race like this, and it's 1,200 metres. She's won 2 trials leading in, Liam. She's been superb. She's clearly come back in good order. I've loved her work, and I'm very happy to be with her. Number 5, Fickle, trialled well. There was something about the action that was of some concern. Just wanted to see this horse extend on race day before I back at the short price. It moved really well, Fickle, and won that trial quite smartly, and I can see why it's in the market. But I just like the way Kitty Chat moves. I think she's a class animal, stable flying. She has map favour. She'll probably roll forward, and she potentially leads here first up. So I think she's clearly the horse to beat. A bit of value here for a Waller, another Waller first up horse that's been pretty plain in 2 runs is number 12 Landwin. Love the trial. I could potentially save it about 30 to 1. Betfair you'll probably get. So been scratched a couple of times like 𝗵𝗺𝗃 was, and now first up here at a big price. So I was actually accepted in that 𝗵𝗺𝗃 race, Chris Waller, and scratched. Maybe just thought 𝗵𝗺𝗃 was going to win that. So ends up here, big price, but number 10, race 2, number 10, Kitty Chat off the 2 winning trials and a brilliant debut performance. Going to be hard to beat, Liam. Race 2, number 10 there.
Yeah, obviously very handy having those 2 strong trials leading in. I mean, that form behind 𝗀𝗧 and Arctic Glamour is as good as you're going to get in a race like this. And interesting to note, Kitty Chat also bled from both nostrils after that first start and had a post-race issue. So still managed to run 𝗀𝗧 at 0.3 of a length with that sort of a post-race issue. Would suggest that it can probably clean up these horses. So liking where your head's at already to start, Tommy. Where are you taking us next?
I like I like horses first up with a bleed. They have to be fit. So the stable gets them fit. So no issues there, mate.
Beautiful. And we're going to race 5?
Yeah, race 5 is a tricky little race here. I found a bit of value in number 1 𝗵𝗺𝗃. Class horse, Molly Burke's not my go-to jockey by any means, but claiming 3 kilos, big weight. She's a class horse. He's a class horse, 𝗵𝗺𝗃, and I think he can run well. He trialled behind Tamerlane and moved quite nicely. He's got the ratings to be competitive. I know he's first up 1,550 metres and potentially going to get over further. We last saw him at 1,900 where he was pretty good there. But his ratings are good. He's got the class to run really well in a race like this first up, and he's drawn well, gets the claim. I think he can run a much better race than the price suggests at about that $15, $16. So I've went with 𝗵𝗺𝗃 each way. I'm against 𝗃𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗃 for Chris Waller. Now third up, 1 second up, but had all favours there last start. Has upside, but just they were 10.3 lengths faster the class benchmark to the 600 metres in that race. This horse came from behind. Because of that fast run tempo, Liam, there were big margins in the race. The leaders capitulated, and I just think the race set up perfectly for 𝗃𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗃 last start, and I'm happy to be against at the price as favourite here. And I'm backing 𝗵𝗺𝗃 each way, something small. So see how we go, race 5 and a 1 there.
Against 𝗃𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗃, it's a $4.25 favourite. Sounds like something like that might go in our late shrink later on, but I won't spoil anything. I haven't done this race, but 𝗵𝗺𝗃, just looking at the ratings that on the system that I use, runs up to last start, it comes up around about $7.50, and we're getting $15 early. So I like that as well. Tommy, that's 2 races that I'm really liking where your head's at. Canterbury race 7. This is the Canterbury Sprint over the 1200. What are you saying?
Yeah, good race. You've had a bit of a look at this race. A huge amount of speed in this race on paper. I don't know, and I'll ask you this question. When you look at this race and all the jockeys get the map and Racing New South Wales does the map for you, does it often pan out the way it's expected? Do they all go helter-skelter, or will they all be a bit gun-shy here?
Yeah, it can obviously, sometimes it can go the other way. And everyone thinks, oh, well, there's too much pace in the race, I'm not going to try and lead. But the types that we have out wide, I mean, of the 11 runners that are listed, 8 of them like to lead. So I think there's going to be no lack of pace here, which makes it actually a really difficult race to dissect, because where do they find and who's going to push too hard? I mean, if 𝗵𝗺𝗃𝗃 had drawn in here, I would have been all over this horse. But drawn 11 of 11, when you got Insurrection, King of Hastings, Malkovich, Zoo Tigers, Either Or, Recommendation, Space Boy, all drawn inside that all want to find the front. Makes it extraordinarily tough race. You're probably, from that barrier, you're either pushing so far forward that you're spending all of your tickets, or you're running 4 pairs back, neither of which are spaces where it's easy to win a race from. I've shouldered arms here. I would have liked to find a back marker, obviously, to run over the top of these, Canterbury being a track that you love being on pace for, but this much pace is going to allow for that back marker. Who have you found?
Yeah, you mentioned, I agree with you regarding 𝗵𝗺𝗃𝗃𝗃. Either Or will come out. I think it's going to run today on Saturday. So there's a little bit of speed on, but you still got 𝗵𝗺𝗃𝗃, Space Boy, Malkovich, Insurrection out there. I wanted to find 𝗵𝗺𝗃𝗃 as well. Paraded much better last start. I probably could save on 𝗵𝗺𝗃𝗃𝗃. I just don't want to lose if he wins the race. But 4 of these come through that razor sharp lamb, one by recommendation. Insurrection was just pipped there, and thankfully, because I was all over recommendation that day, and just got his head down. One of the only photos I've got in 2023, so that was nice. Second, so Cinnawon ran 4th there, Liam, and Dynamic Impact 9th. Now, recommendation rises 2 kilos from that win. Insurrection does rise in weight, but it meets the winner there 1.5 kilos worse at the weights, or Insurrection meets the winner that's 1.5 kilos better at the weights. Cinnawon made up really good ground, drops half a kilo from that, meets them all better at the weights from that run, has since run again at 1,400 metres. Now, with the new stable this campaign, he's gone up to the 1,400 metres on a quick backup here, dropping back to 1,200 metres. If a few of these are tested late and are vulnerable late, I wanted to be with him, and I think he's got pretty good value. I loved his run 2 back. It's a race that 𝗂𝗂𝗃 Falls came through and won, and actually beat Cinnawon, who was good last week. So, Cinnawon back from 14, back to this trip, 1,200 metres. I think the new stable, is very good with these type of horses, Liam. I think he might have worked him out here. He's quick backup. As I said, I love that setup, and he'll be strong late. We know that. So I just went looking for him, and he's come up pretty good value here, Cinnawon. So I'm happy to be with him with a weight swing from 2 runs ago over a few of these through the razor sharp. And yes, hopefully he can be flying over them late. He hasn't won for a while.
You reckon this stable's all right with tried horses, do you?
Yeah, they're okay.
This 𝗃𝗧𝗃 stable is as good with a brand new horse from another stable as I've ever come across in my life. So you're finding the right formula there. Now that's it for Canterbury. So run us through them again. You got Canterbury race 2, and what do we got
race
there?
Race 2, number 10, Kitty Chat.
Yep.
Yes, I'm laying 𝗃�toupian as favourite. I've got it marked about $7, so $4.20 at the moment. I think it's too short for me, and I'm with Malabar, small each way at a massive price, and then I've gone with Cinnawon, race 7 in the Canterbury Sprint there. Number 4, Cinnawon is each way.
Beautiful. My Flemington recap. Flemington race 1, number 1, Midtown Boss. Race 2, number 3, Ginger and Pink. And race 7, number 9, Mr. Exclusive. The late streak is still alive, Tommy. You had $165 to play with last week. You laid Randwick race 4, number 7, Divine with Vicky. Was the favourite in the race when you laid it on the show. Ran 10th, which is also known as dead last. $5 you tipped at. And was out to $8 BSP. So you did everything right. Never a chance in the run. Very, very well done. You have $189 to play with this week. Have we touched on your late streak horse yet?
Oh, I'm tossing up between 𝗃�toupian and one in today. I might as well go with the one today because did the right thing by me 2 weeks ago, Liam, or whatever it was. Dollar Magic. Why not stick with the horse that can't win? I think it's 5 seconds in a row. Draws well again here.
Money spinner for the owners, but as punters, you'd just hate this horse, wouldn't you? Second, third, second.
Not if you're laying her. Keep laying her, mate. She's drawn well again here, but that race, they walked out in front. So she was entitled to run second there. Nothing out the back could get into the race. It was as simple as that. Time to Boogie kicked really well. Beat Dollar Magic really nicely. So that's race 8, number 2 there. I just think the race set up for her to run second. If she didn't run second, it would have been awful. So she just ended up there the way the race was run. She could have ended up there again. I just think there's a few here that are trialling well that have a bit more ability. 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃's a hard horse to catch, but trialled up enormous. And when she's at her best, she can blow these away. So I want to spec 𝗃𝗃𝗃, and either or's tried up enormous too and got really good ratings behind her. So she scratched from New Year's Day to be here from a tricky barrier, but she can settle outside late here. So, I'm against Dollar Magic, mate. That'll be my lay of the day.
Hey, mate. That either or Bubba's boy, they both first up. Both look like fighting the front. And I'm with you. I think 𝗃𝗃𝗃 are going to be extraordinarily hard to beat in that race. Trialled up enormous. Made Zoo Tiger look like a second-rate horse, absolutely flying by her. So, really keen 𝗃𝗃𝗃 in that race, which makes Dollar Magic your lay of the day. Perfect, like it. You've got $189 worth of liability sitting there for Dollar Magic. I am going. Last week was also good for me. We had $192. Caulfield race 6, number 3, 𝗃𝗃𝗃 loomed up at the top of the straight, had every possible chance, but just wasn't good enough. And Zenzella was too good. Ran 4th, 𝗃𝗃𝗃 in the end.
Very good, mate. You found the winner there too.
We did, which was much needed on Boxing Day, and we loved it. So $239 to play with this week, and we're going to go to the Bagot Handicap Flemington race number 6. We're going to be laying number 1, 𝗪𝗛𝗧, the 10-year-old, carries top weight. For the lay streak, we're going to lay the win. It's current. I'm going to lay it to $10, so not breaking any records here. But we'll also be laying the place personally as well. But stay alive, keep ourselves on the board for 2024. We're laying race 6, number 1, 𝗪𝗧𝗧. I've got it marked closer to the $25 mark, so $10 seems a little treat. We're going to whiz through a couple for today, just in case people have got the itch and are keen to find some winners on what is the 30th. It's actually a couple of great cards at the Valley and Randwick. We touched on 𝗪𝗺𝗃, keen in that race. Race 8, number 3 at Randwick. I'm also keen race 9, number 11, 𝗃𝗶𝗀𝗶𝗹. Very hard to beat. Race 10.
Did you have a look at? Sorry, did you have a look at race 1?
Race 1 at Randwick?
Yeah,
no, that's all for you, mate. That's all for you. Yeah, I don't have time for that sort of stuff. That's all yours.
Continue with yours. So race 8, you're with number 3, 𝗪𝗺𝗃. Race 9, 𝗃𝗶𝗀𝗃. Race 10, you're going to say?
Yeah, a horse, 𝗃𝗀𝗃, brand new 𝗵𝗺𝗃𝗃 runner, has trialled enormous. Really keen to find 𝗃𝗀𝗃. Opened up $9 into it. I think we're about $5.50, $6 now. I think that's still value, got marked just under $5. So 𝗃𝗀𝗃, race 10 with a small saver on number 1, the Hong Kong horse Dynamic Spirit that won on debut in Australia. And then the Valley, the main bets there, Independent Road, race 5, number 5, keen to take on 𝗪𝗪𝗪. Race 7, number 1, 𝗬𝗪𝗪𝗪. And my best of today is a horse called Deal Blaster, race 8, number 10 at the Valley. Around about the $7.58 mark. I think it's an each way special. Really hard to beat, but should certainly be running a drum. What about yourself, Tommy? Anything for today?
Yeah, let's go to Randwick, mates. And pretty keen to back 2 horses in the first. Parkour, Jamie Carr comes to New South Wales. I assume to ride this horse ahead of the Magic Millions potentially. Rode it first up over a shorter trip. Steps up to 1,200 metres. This horse ran the fastest 6, 4 and 2 of the day. First up, just got back from a wide barrier. Looks hard to beat here, but has to go around Sydney direction now. I know it's trialled in Sydney, but different on race day. But I want to back him and a horse called Dark Arts, number 4 for the Hawks team. Trialled up really nicely as well, mate. So I'm going to level stake these 2. Backing number 4, Dark Arts, and number 1, Parkour. Level stake them so we make more of Dark Arts can win. Probably maps perfectly there and ahead of Parkour. So level stake those 2. And race 8, you touched on 𝗪𝗺𝗃. I want to be against Dollar Magic, and I'm backing 𝗪𝗺𝗃 and either or. Concede 𝗵𝗺𝗃 Bay's going to be right up there and hard to beat as well. But 𝗪𝗺𝗃, if she repeats or produces her best, she'll be winning this race. 𝗪𝗺𝗃, she's a nice horse. She's had some time off. But her early season ratings, early career ratings are outstanding. Something 𝗪𝗺𝗃 and either or's tried up enormous as well, Liam. Probably maps to settle outside lead. Tossed up to be able to be in the listed race on New Year's Day. So got really good figures and backing them both. Number 3 𝗪𝗺𝗃 and number 5 either or in the Swips handicap. Race 8 today, mate.
I reckon that'll be the one to clip up for today. Race 8, number 3 𝗪𝗺𝗃. Plenty of confidence there. $7.80 on the exchange. Plenty of value. Tommy, great day. What do you got for us?
Thanks, mate. I don't know. I'll go to the pub here in South Australia, watch a few races. We'll see how we go. Thanks for joining us. Happy New Year to everyone. Think of some resolutions. Our aim will be to find more winners than 2023. Been a pleasure. Happy New Year. Thanks, Liam. All the best.
Great, Tommy.
Welcome to Layback with Betfair. Joined by the A team, we're back.
What are you really gambling with?